Welcome back to Forensics Detailing, guys. Good to see you. Today's a really cool, exciting day for me. I've gone and bought myself a new car, and that car is sitting right next to me in the garage. So let me pan you around. Here it is. So guys, this will test your petrol headedness. What car is this from that shot? I'll just give you a second to have a look at it. What car is this? Now, some people will be saying E46 BMW. Yeah. Some people might have said M3. It's not an M3, is it? It's called a 330 Ci Clubsport. And the real extreme petrol heads will have got it from the spoiler and those what's the bloody word? Split rims, split alloy wheels, which are OEM. These are the ones that come with the car. So this is a limited edition 3-litre car. It's a 2002. It's done 128,000 miles. It is in estoril blue, and it is a manual, which is very, very important for this type of car. But here's the best thing with this. Here's the best. You probably think, why have I bought this? Well, guys, this car has cost me £2,000. Which is an absolute bargain for one of these. Now, £2,000, that's the great news. The bad news is, why was it £2,000? So there's a young lad up the road from me, really nice bloke actually, but Ben, I'm not sure if he watches the channel or not. He was selling it. He's owned it for a couple of years. It was like a car that, you know, an extra car that he didn't kind of use. Very honest with the advert that there was lots of issues, and he put most of them down there and went through all of the issues with me. And I said to him I wasn't too worried about the issues, but there's a hell of a lot of issues. And I'm buying the car primarily because I think it's going to be fun to sort out some of these issues, whether they're cosmetic or electrical or mechanical. And every time you buy a car like this, there's risks, and there's quite a lot of risk with this car. But the price for £2,000, you know, I could break it for more than that, guys. You know, the engine and the box and all the components as a limited edition, you could break it for more than that. So there's no risk to me. Worst case scenario is if I get fed up with this car or whatever, I'll just ship it off to Copart, and I'll sell it. It'll probably go for £1,500 as is on there, even in this condition. So it's a bit of fun with low risk, but this car has lots and lots of issues. I'm just going to show you around it, and then I'll talk through some of the issues. And the cool thing about having a channel, guys, is that some of you will know these cars inside and out. I have owned 3. This is my third E46, or it might be my fourth. I've had it's my third. I've had a 318, and I've had the I had the 318 Saloon, I had the M3, and now this. I know the car reasonably well, or I don't know the engine in this car though. So this CI stands for coupe injection, so the I is always the petrol ones basically. Now have a look here, guys. Now, should we talk before we go delving into the interior? Let's have a look at the exterior. So some things that need attention. We have the infamous bubbling rust on this car. It's actually not too bad on the rust front. I've had a pokey underneath. It's pretty good. You get the mud gets stuck in underneath these arches. I can feel it all. It's a thick layer of mud, and it wets the metal. And these cars are notorious for it. Typically they'll go down here as well. Reg's one is gone. This isn't too bad actually, but that needs sorting. There are various little tiny dinks all over the car. Like there's one there that you're going to even sort of struggle to see on the camera. You can just about see it, can't you? There's lots of little things like that on there, which I'm not too worried about. If we move, generally we have pretty straight OEM original paintwork all on this car, all the way up until this wing here. This wing has been replaced, so the chap told me just went and got another wing from a breaker that was from another Clubsport that was the same colour, but the colour of this wing doesn't match the original paint. You can even see it, can't you? Look, it's much bluer. In fact, probably looks nicer. This has got a bit whiter and more hazy. with a good buff, you might be able to get those closer, but they're never going to be close enough. So I think that either way, that's going to need to be repainted. So you can see the difference in colour. That wing is different to this and this and this. What else? We need a refurb on the alloy wheels, guys. They are all of the alloy wheels have issues. They're split rims, so they're going to cost a bit more to refurb. Should really keep these cars OEM, so I'll probably keep those alloys on there. Centre caps need replacing. What else is going on here? Tyres. We're going to need new tyres. These have got plenty of tread on them, but I just don't really want to be running it on BF Goodridges, so we'll probably get some Kumos on there, something with a bit more performance than these. And I've never even heard of these ones. Sumitomo, never heard of those before. The hell are these tyres? BC100s, never heard of that brand of tyre before. What else is going on with this car? We're going to have to replace the glass. I think you can get replacement, you know, what are they called? What's it called? The plastic lenses, whatever it's called, this bit of plastic that clips on over the top. I think you can replace those. It's split through with all the fine cracks that come from the heat, so you can't polish this out and re-lacquer it. You're still going to have those fine splits. That's not an original. That looks like an aftermarket. Is that a depot part? Might be. I don't know what that is. It's brand spanking new, and he's got two spare of these brand spanking new ones as well. He gave me in a box, so I'm not sure about those. Front bumper has lacquer peel over here. The paintwork on the bonnet is not actually too bad. It's a bit dead. It's a bit flat. It's hard to see, but it's gone very flat. It feels rough as hell. The clear coat is probably thinned down. Clear coat on these bonnets takes a hammering. This looks like it's original paintwork to me on the car, although I haven't. So I'm not saying that with too much certainty, but I don't think it's been painted. But down here you can see we have lacquer peeling off, which is a bit, well, you get the stone chips in here. For some reason it's come off here. Some of these cars, some of them, I'm not sure if anyone knows about this, let me know, but some of them have little black lower sort of grills or lower valance, whatever they're called. This car doesn't have it. Some of them don't seem to. I don't know if that was an optional extra or something or whatever. I'm not too fussed about those, but if it's supposed to be there, then I should really get them. This BMW badge needs to be replaced. These grills are non-standard, but he's given me the original chrome grills. I quite like it on the black ones. It's just these aftermarket black ones, they really don't last well. They don't age well. So they'll probably need to be replaced. This windscreen has been replaced at some point, I can tell from the sensors not stuck in that well. There's a little air pocket there which looks crap, and that's going to be, I need to fix that really, but that's going to involve ripping that off, which is risky. But it's in good nick, this front windscreen. The Scuttle seal is cracked all the way through, which is a very common problem. I'm not sure if BMW will still sell that seal, or if you have to buy a complete new Scuttle, so that might be very difficult to fix. There's lots of issues like that on this particular car. This wing here has lacquer peel and a little ding in it. Fair enough. And coming down this side, if you pardon the pun, I think we've got pretty decent paintwork down here. Perhaps some dings, just some little tiny dings in it that I can't see. There is a ripple. There's a ripple here. He told me about this. I saw it. There's a ripple. Might have had a bit of filler in a small repair here because I could see it, and there's some little signs there of inclusions. So might have had a little bit of paint there, and it feels a bit glossier to me. So that might have had a little. I can see the difference in the orange peel as well. This rear quarter panel might have been painted. I'll get the depth gauge out on that. Generally, the rear of the car is pretty good. This doesn't seem to work. If I pop the key, it will open, but there's a little button down here. I don't know if there's any requirements for that to work, if it switches off. And have we got peeling lacquer on the spoiler? We've got something going on there. That might be a bit of missing lacquer on the top of the rear spoiler, so that is not aftermarket, that's OEM. That would be a shame if that's got a little bit of clear coat missing. Split rims need redoing down here as well. The glass in this door is stuck. It's come off the runners. Apparently it still works actually when you, so the runner mechanism inside is working, so I should hopefully be able to fix this minimal cost. The central locking. When you pop the button, this button is not undoing, but it will, the handle inside works, so it's something to do with the central locking, you know, motor or something, I don't know. The door card's sort of not even on properly, so I should be able to open that up and have a look and get that sorted with whatever needs doing there. If we go round to here, we'll go into the inside now. Let me get the keys. Where's the keys? Oh, Jesus. This door's like got a mind of their own. Going inside the car. Now, there's some amazing things about the inside of this car. I don't know how well you can see this, but the condition of the leather is actually really, really good. There's no tears, especially this must have been repainted at some point. There is no like tears or holes in the main driver's side bolster for a car that's done 148,000 miles. It has this Alcantara, you know, insert in the middle, which is also in remarkable bloody condition. It really is. That'll clean up lovely. So this could all be cleaned and recoloured, and then this will look great. And it's in good nick as well for a high mileage. Might not look like in good nick to you from here, but trust me, once it's recoloured, it will look amazing. This handle should be jet black and it's gone white. It's like some sort of porous plastic. I don't know what's affected that, but you know, we can try maybe some solution finish on that. Try a heat gun, I don't know. That's quite badly gone, but who cares? The seats are in really good condition. The seats in the back are amazing. I don't think hardly anyone's ever sat in here. These Alcantara midsections are just like brand new. They really are in fantastic condition. It's just really nice in here. Now, it's quite an old car. This car smells exactly like Reg's car. When they get to this sort of age, they all start to smell a little bit, just sort of petrol-y smell. Well, not petrol-y smell, just smells like an old car. Let's get in the car. Oh, okay. What do we have in here? We have heavy wear on the steering wheel, so the surface of the steering wheel, which doesn't feel like real leather. This is probably bonded leather or something, but you've got this paint system over the top of it, black paint, and then probably a clear system, clear coat. So that's failed and it's rubbed away, so you can sand this very finely just to get that edge off there, because if you just recolour it, you'll actually see that edge. So you can flatten this down. The problem is, actually, you've probably got enough texture here. It's usually the problem with doing these steering wheels is texture. It's getting the texture match right. I had this done on the M3, and the chap who did it was really nice bloke, and we spent quite a lot of time talking about texture mapping on steering wheels. One other thing, if you recolour this, it's not going to be permanent. It's going to wear off quicker than you'd like it to. Might be worth replacing the steering wheel. I've actually got all the equipment to recolour this apart from the paint, but I've got this certain type of rattle can which will put not a rattle can, but it's basically, I'll show it to you when I do it, but you could attempt to recolour this. Gear stick is too far gone. That is worn all the way through the leather cover, so that needs replacing. Gaiters are all in good condition, all down here. As always on these cars, these parts here delaminate. The painted surface goes like softens with exposure to heat and just softens over the years. And you can see, I could scrape this off with my thumb and it'd be like a soft plasticky goo. That needs replacing, okay? And I did it on the M3. Fortunately, it's going to be about, I think, about 30 or 40 pounds just for this unit, and I'll have to get this surround unit as well. That will make this look like mint. This condition of all this here is generally pretty good. This center console piece here, for some reason, isn't badly delaminated, so I might not need to replace this. It's all filthy, which is what you can't see. It's got this original phone kit on there. I have no idea how the hell you get this phone off. It's like stuck in there. I cannot get this phone out. How the hell does that come out? But I was wondering if I can pop off this whole unit here and there's some other replacement with it, which is just like cup holders or like a tray, but you want to keep this all OEM. But I do not want this phone, this old school like phone, which happens to work. I don't want this kicking around in here, so I need to find out and get something else to go in here. Kind of cool that that's all OEM. And you have a little compartment back here which looks like in good condition. Like I say, you can see that isn't too badly delaminated. Passenger seat is okay. Glass is in really good condition with very few chips. This is alright. Sometimes these delaminate around the edge. We've got some air fresheners in here. I was just saying, what the hell is that? Look how many air fresheners there are in here. There's even one in the back there, look. That one is a classic. That's great. I'm laughing because this guy was on TV, wasn't he? And he was asked a question or something, and what would he say to someone? And that's what he replied. So that just made me chuckle. In here we've got the fuse box open, which is not a good sign. Just have to go through and check all those fuses at some point. It's always worth doing. What have we got here? What are these? BMW. What are these? Some sort of clips. Let's find out what those are. We've got the locking wheel nut. Then we have got, oh, this looks like something. So another problem we have with this particular car is, let me just turn it on. This head unit here, it doesn't work. Well, it kind of works, but the display doesn't work. And the chap, the chap said it kind of comes on sometimes and doesn't come on, but I've never actually seen it come on. I have no idea why. That could be an absolute nightmare. That could be a nightmare to fix. It's got a mini disc player in it, guys. Remember cassette players, and then we had CDs. I think somewhere in between we had these mini discs out for a little while. I think Sony had something to do with them. They never really caught on. It's the only car I've ever seen with a mini disc player. So I want to keep this all OEM ideally, and I do want to get this fixed. It looks like there's power going to this thing. I wonder if it's not some security thing or something. No idea what that is. So if anybody knows, that'd be great. Okay, if we go over to this part here, guys, now here's the bad thing. We have a permanent, I know the car's not running, but trust me, when it runs, we have a permanent airbag warning light on. I need to read that and find out what is causing that. There will hopefully be a sensor, maybe it's in the seat squib, that is disconnected there, so there'll be an open circuit somewhere as part of this airbag or SRS system. Hopefully it's a seat squib. There's a recall that needs to be done. It hasn't had it done, where you take, you know, they replace this airbag and they replace the passenger one. It might be worth just getting them to do that recall. And if they're really, really nice, they'll say to me, oh, by the way, you've got an airbag warning light on, sensor open on driver's seat. If they tell me what it is, then I can poke around and hopefully fix it myself without incurring big bills. Up here, guys, when you run the car, the oil pressure or the oil warning light comes on. I don't know if that's because it's running low on oil or it's the oil pressure. I don't know. It seems to run fine. The engine management light is on as well. I've got a Mickey Mouse code reader over there. Look, I'll go and get it. I need to get a proper. Don't get one of these. They're all right. They're sort of half useful. They're half useful for reading engine codes. This one costs like a tenner. You can clear certain codes, but they're sort of generic. They're generic things. So if we read what is going on here, there's a lot of engine errors on this. It runs okay, although there's a bit of a rough idle. Let's just wait for this thing to connect. Right, so let's connect. We've got 9 codes here. So hold on a second, sorry. Come on, come back to life, silly screen. There we go. So I can see what's going on. Let's just do a code read. So these are engine codes. Misfire detected with low fuel. Okay, fair enough. P313. What's that say? $1.12. PO313. Misfire basically. Random cylinder misfire detected. What, random cylinder? That's not much help, is it? Manufacturer control. So I don't know what that means. I don't know if it's, you know, I don't know what the hell that means. P13. I'm going to make a note of all these. I don't know if that means as well I can't read it properly. The code reader can't read it properly. 1342. Another manufacturer control. Another manufacturer control. Another manufacturer control. System 2 lean. Bank 1. Okay. Oh, and system 2 lean, sorry. Bank 2. So we're running, what does that mean? We're running too much petrol, not enough kind of air. Something's wrong with how it runs. Misfire detective with low fuel. We've already talked about that one, haven't we? Random, yeah, we talked about that one. Random multiple cylinder misfire. So normally perhaps the first thing you would do with this car is replace all the spark plugs, service it, you know, drain all the oil off, put some new oil in, check the air filter, make sure all the air intake system isn't cracked, especially if it's misfiring on 2 cylinders. Although that running too lean thing is a bit worrying. You know, could that be like a fuel injection problem or something, or some weird problem with one of the electronics? I don't understand this engine. There's all sorts of little funky things in there. You've got a MAF on it. You've got I think you've got like a Deezer. Is it called a Deezer? I think it's the only one with it on there, which is a bit like some sort of air valve that lets in more air, although it's not the throttle body. I don't know the engines, like I say, so you guys can help me with all this stuff. But when you drive the car, guys, you can feel that the engine isn't quite 100%, but it still feels smooth, it still revs well, it idles okay, just a bit of a delay on the pickup. So that was the key thing for me when I was looking at this car, was how was it going to be, how is it the engine going to run with these random codes, because I didn't know what the errors were, and the chap who was selling it didn't know what the errors were. I still don't know. I'm not that worried, like I say, because I've got the car for less than its breaker value, and it's really a bit of fun for me. But getting this engine running smoothly is going to be the thing. I'm going to have to do most of this myself, ideally, you know. But there's limitations to what I can do on the engine, so that's interesting. But hopefully this should be a relatively simple problem. Let me know. Spark plugs. I don't think it's just going to be spark plugs and coil packs or something. I don't know. If you know about this engine, let me know, guys. What else is going on? Well, there's so many little things, there's so many little niggles. This switch here, guys, I can go up, I can go down, I can move the bolster this way, but the backwards and forwards one doesn't work. It sounds like that switch is working. I wonder if the motor has gone. One particular individual motor is gone, the one that's used the most. That's a bit of a pain, because I can only just reach the pedals. So I need to get that fixed. We have loads of like issues with the seals, if you can see here, these seals coming off now. That's hard to fix. That is hard to fix. Little issues there with the pillars where they've been taken off. They've kind of not tucked back in properly. I can sort that out. Lots of wear and tear issues, but mainly I'm pretty confident. The carpet is in amazing condition, I tell you. It's not like the original mats, and the wear and tear on them is, I mean, they're filthy, but trust me, I can get the carpets in these BMWs really good quality compared to some other cars like Volkswagen. No names mentioned. Volkswagen, where you get the old fluffy plastic pube type carpet. This, you get really nice quality carpets. The quality in these E46s, the build quality, apart from the rusting issue, all of the little components they use, the quality seems to be amazing. Even the little nuts and bolts, none of them are rusted and all that sort of stuff. I think that's all I wanted to show you on the inside for the time being. We need to get this door sorted out, guys. That is important. That's very important. Let's come out of the car now. I might clear those errors in a second. I'm just going to pop the hood. It needs proper cleaning as well, but there's no point in detailing this car, okay? A lot of videos being done detailing old bangers. It's pointless detailing cars, so it's not really detailing, is it? The best thing to do is work on the mechanical issues first, identify certain things that are going to be costly, and then worry about cleaning it all and all that sort of stuff later on. But this is so filthy, I might just like hoover it out and throw a bucket of dirty water over it, but it'd be pointless to detail this car. The battery was flat, but the guys put a brand spanking new battery in it. I think there might have been a power drain issue on the car as well. The list keeps on going. Now when we go into the engine bay is very dirty, really dirty, but it's done 150,000 miles. The thing that I'm looking for whenever I open up an engine bay is I'm looking for the slam panel, which is this thing here, which mounts the top of the radiator, and that never mounts to the wing. That always mounts to these flitches, which the wings are mounted on. Always check the bolts, okay? Now you can see these bolts here have never ever been touched. There's no burring on them. They've never ever been undone. Why is that useful? Because it tells me the car's never had a front end, or else they'd all be burred. When they've had front ends and they get repaired by a builder, you can spot it straight away because all these bolts are out of alignment. You can see the circles underneath where they've been moved. This front end has never been dismantled. In fact, not much is going on this engine. There's a piece of missing trim here that needs to be replaced, and it is black, filthy, properly ground in dirt. It's going to be great. It's going to make a nice tidy up because the engine bay will be good. We've got some power steering fluid. If you overfill that, or when you're filling it up, it could run down the side, or that might possibly be leaking. Don't know. Inside this, inside the engine, basically the oil isn't all milky. Looks, I can't really see the oil. I haven't checked the oil level, but I'm going to do an oil change on it anyway. I suspect from the sound it was making, we're going to need a regas on the aircon. That is like, it probably hasn't been used for donkey's years. It has got an upgraded air filter in there, a non-standard one. I'm not sure. Well, I'll probably just clean that out. There we've obviously got our MAF. I think that's the diesel control there. Obviously you've got the air intake there. You've got your oil filter there. You've got your cabin filter. I don't know the engine too well. Beyond that, you've got your, where's your, oh there's the, that must be the coolant. We've also got a coolant warning error. So I think the coolant, it comes and goes. I think we're right on the limit with the coolant. With these old cars, anything rubbery is now starting to perish and split. These front air intake, these don't do anything really, do they? You could just trim these off, but these are like snapped off in bits, which is very common. So it'd be nice, I might get a new one of those if you can still buy them. I'm not sure what parts you can get brand new from BMW. You can obviously get some parts for it brand new, and which ones you're now reliant on going to a breaker for. So I'll find out in due course. There is this is all going to be done for enjoyment. This is all going to be done on a shoestring, and I'm going to try and get the car back to a reasonably nice standard without spending a fortune on it. Primarily, guys, I'm going to be doing this for fun. This is about fun. When I got in this car and drove it back, I love the way it drives. I haven't talked about some of the really cool things. The brakes are pretty good. Acceleration is nice. The engine feels like it's got lots of power still, and it's not running quite right, but it's still, you can feel that lovely engine. The clutch has got a very wide kind of vague bite point on it, and it starts to bite quite high, which is a bit worrying, but it's done 148,000 miles. I wouldn't touch that until wait for the clutch to go, then worry about it. It drives beautifully though. He said to me that he'd had all the suspension done with M Sport suspension, and the ride on the car feels amazing. The ride is lovely, the brakes feel good, the car is centred on the road, and the steering feels fantastic for a car that's done 148,000. Great steering, really nice, really confident in the car, even on these crappy tyres, you know, whatever tyres are on there. The car felt very nice on the road, very familiar. I think if I went ragging it round a track in this car in this condition, I would, you know, I don't trust the car yet fully enough, and these rear tyres have got to go. But they don't feel that bad. None of it's that bad. That is it, guys. I'm going to need to rack your brains over the next few months. There's going to be so many cool opportunities to do content. Sorry, she just scared the living bejesus out of me because I'm filming. Every time I go out here, I tell her I'm filming. She comes and scares the hell out of me. Yeah, so
what do you mean?
I'm filming. Please.
What do you mean with this?
What do you mean? I gave you a thumbs up.
Yeah.
You do not want to see her. Anyway.
You have some responsibilities, John, so go and do it. Your car stays here for
Okay,
years.
I'm a bit...
I know, but you have some responsibilities. You want to do the morning tomorrow? Shall I call you half past 6, yeah?
Love you too, honey. Okay, I'll come back in 5 minutes, yes.
No.
5 minutes, give me 5 minutes, I'm just finishing off. Yeah, 5 minutes, I'll finish off and I'm coming.
Wait for that.
Close the door. God damn it. They ruin all your fun, don't they? Right, let's turn this off. Responsibility is my ass. You see where's the trousers in this house? Oh, it's all good. She's right, actually. I've been in here playing around for hours since I got back, daydreaming about this car. Guys, this car is far from perfect. It needs loads doing, but I am like a kid in a toy shop, kid in a candy shop. I love the car. I'm in that early honeymoon period. Really happy with it. It's got so many issues. It needs so much work. It is gonna be great though when it's all done, hopefully. I'm just getting a bit bored with new cars. They're all so damn fast. They're too fast. You know, the M140, it's too fast. The new M3, it's going to be too fast. The M2 is too fast. The M4 is too fast. The RS3 is too fast. These cars that they're making now, that, no disrespect here, guys, you've got a lot of... Actually, I don't know if this is relevant, is it? But I was just going to say that if I was driving one of these cars, even an M140, when I was a young lad, I'd be dead now. I think you need a certain amount of power on the roads, but the amount of power that they're putting into these cars now is just ridiculous. And I know a lot of you will be thinking, you can never have enough power. What are you talking about? It's a load of old rubbish. But these are the sort of cars that I grew up on, and you make the sort of step from a low-powered one to something like this, where you had whatever horsepower this thing has. I don't even know what it has. What does it have? 250 horsepower, 230? And you really feel it and you really enjoy it, but it's kind of sensible. When you have, 400 brake horse, cars doing 0 to 60 in 4 seconds or whatever, whatever it is, it's just ridiculous. And I think driving the Mini Cooper S has made me realise it as well, and it's made me want to crave a car that I can enjoy accelerating with and enjoy wringing the engine out of, wishing you had more power kind of thing, rather than just having so much power. Before you know it, you're flying along at, God knows what speed. So that's why I'm looking forward to this. It's gonna be great when it's all done, hopefully. If it all goes wrong and I have major problems, especially with this amazing engine in here, but ultimately I just get rid of it, cut my losses, and try and bring out as much fun as I can have. So thanks for watching, guys. There's going to be loads more content on this lovely BMW 330 Ci Clubsport and all of the issues that we've talked about. And the worrying thing is, guys, I'm working down here, there's even more issues. There are even more issues than I've covered. It's going to be a lot of work, a lot of tinkering around. Take care. See you soon on the Forensics Detailing channel. Bye for now.